Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Angela and I'd like to welcome you to Papery Blue. On this channel I do lots of scrapbooking, card making and quick art projects, just to have fun, relax and reduce the stress of everyday life. So today I'm going to be doing a scrap page where I'm going to use one of my photos from Christmas this year, last year, to put together a page so that I can keep those memories together. Today I'm using the Simple Stories Merry and Bright collection. I love all the traditional colours and all the traditional little icons in the sticker collection and the chipboard collection. So I'm going to put it together and see what we can make. So you don't have to have this collection. You can use the actual design with just about any collection. It's going to be a fairly simple one, and so I hope you'll have a look in your stash, see if you can find some bits and pieces, grab yourself a good photo and join along with me. Let's get started. Okay, I'm going to start by mounting my photo onto some red cardstock. Now I'm just eyeballing this. I think it's right on the edge of my cutter. This cutter is a Fiskars cutter. You can use any cutter or any guillotine that you've got, and it's somewhere between just over 4 inches. And this is about a 6x4 photo, and I just want to mount it with just a little edge around it. So I'm literally just eyeballing it with this one. You can get these cutters just about anywhere, and the color I'm using is a Kaisercraft color. Just hold on. So this color is Crimson by Kaisercraft, but honestly you can choose any color depending on the papers you choose, or any red, it doesn't really matter. Now I wanted to choose the red because the base papers that I've chosen are both green, so I wanted to make it pop on my base colors. The ones I'm using, the very base is going to be this Merry and Bright one called Joy and Happiness. I love this plaid. It's double-sided, of course, which of course is always the scrapbooker's dilemma, because don't you just love it? But I'm also going to mount it on this one, which is Hello December. So I'm now going to mount my red on the dark green, and I'm going to cut a mat out of that as well. Again, I'm just going to eyeball it. You can do it whatever way suits you. You can just cut it with scissors if you don't have a cutter. You can be really exact and measure. But over the years of scrapbooking, I used to measure everything, but I actually realise I'm not that fussed. I just try and do a fairly good job making it as square as I can. So I'm happy with that. That'll do. And I'm going to save this because I may use some of it along the way. I'm not sure. I tend to keep things together just in case I want something a bit further down the track. So now I'm going to use some double-sided tape just to put everything together. Now before I start mounting, first of all I cut the branding strip off the paper, and from one side, and from the other side I cut off just the tiniest little sliver, alright, of the pattern paper. Now I do that so that I can fit it into my scrapbook albums, because something I found is that sometimes you will find the full 12 by 12 scrapbook pages sometimes just, you know, are really hard to slip in, particularly if you add a little bit of 3 dimension to it. And I haven't decided whether I will or I won't yet. So rather than sort of do it all and then find that I've got nowhere to go and nowhere to trim, I just trim the tiniest little bit off first, and then I'm going to lay that one on there. Okay, but I may well mount up this photo mat because my plan is to add my elements in a diagonal line across my page from the top left corner to the bottom right. Now, if you've watched my channel before, you'll know we talk about sort of having things in 3 clusters, but I'm still not sure whether I'll do that today. I'm aiming to sort of do a few things here and a few things there, which will be, so that'll sort of be 1, 2, that'll drag your eye down through the photo, and I might just have a little something up there, I'm not sure, as my third element. So we'll see. So I'm going to get the chipboards out first of all. Actually, no, hold that thought. I was actually going to look at some of these to see if I can actually fussy cut some of these out. A lot of these are like for winter. Obviously being an American brand, of course in Australia we don't have them. But I can use this one and I can use this one. I can probably use this one and this one. So I might just start by cutting out some of the ones that I know I can use. I mean, I could use, you know, winter ones, but it just doesn't make sense when we're sort of sitting outside in the heat of the day for our Christmas lunch, and then I've got a background page that is all wintry. It is my absolute desire one day to have an amazing white Christmas. In fact, I'd like to have an English white Christmas and I'd like to have an American white Christmas, you know. So if anybody wants to invite me for Christmas next year, feel free. So I'm just going to cut out a few of these because they're going to be the base of my design. So I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've fussy cut some of the little bits out. Okay, and I'm sort of going to lay them, as I said, diagonally. Now before I do that, however, I am just going to put a little bit of red paint splatters across the page. So I only need the tiniest little bit of acrylic paint and a little bit of water just to thin it down a bit. Just a few splashes, not too many, and I'm just going to let that dry. Okay, now that is dry, I'm going to mount my photo mount onto foam. Now the reason I'm doing this is I want to lift it up because I'm going to have some 3D elements on my page. So I want my photo to be the highest and all the other elements just to be either slightly lower or at least, you know, no higher than my photo. By putting some foam all the way across it, it'll be nice and solid. You can just use some like foam mounts. You can buy them at the cheap shop, just nice and you know, small rounds or little strips or little squares, and they will do, but just because they're, you know, it'll be in an album and it'll be being taken in and out, maybe it'll be being flipped, it's just more secure if it's solid all the way through. Now I dried my paint with my heating tool, and just wanted to concentrate then. And you'll notice that there's just the slightest little bit of bump. Now, it doesn't really matter. It is probably going to be fine by the time I finish putting everything on. I don't think you'll even notice. If you don't want it to warp at all, then I would suggest you actually let it dry naturally. It'll survive far better. Okay, now I'm just going to use a little bit of this sort of gingham style black. Alright, to draw your attention to that. And I'm going to put the tiniest other piece. I don't know whether to do it up. I might do it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I always try to find things that are odd numbered. So it's a bit wonky. And I've pressed it down, which is, let's see if I can get it off. And get it all the way over. Right, so this is going to be my, I'll just do a tiny little cluster there as well. So now I want to lay a few bits and bobs. Now I liked that one just at the base there because it hasn't got, I don't know whether you can see, it hasn't got the frame all the way around. It's only got it around the bottom. So I'm going to slip that underneath so that it looks like it's just sticking down. And I don't want any of the edges to line up, so so I'll have that one there. Trim that just the tiniest bit more. I'm going to put that one I had. No, I remember which one I had. I had that one. I decided. So that one's going to go there. You could distress these if you like. I've decided not to for this one. I like the colours as they are, but I don't really want to make them any darker than this. I'm quite happy to have a clean look. Now you can see these edges here. By just overlapping that, I lose all the odd edges, but nothing lines up, which is good as well. So you can see I've got some cream in this. So what I want to do is not put all the cream ones together. I want to, although that one's round, I like that one up there maybe. I might use this cream one in here. Okay, so I want to alternate these just a little bit to alternate a bit of the colour. So and that will be there, something like that. And I don't mind if it even goes off the edge a bit. I'll just trim it later. So I think I'll start with this one. I'll just trim the top off anyway, just in case I decide to bring it down a bit. I'll put a bit of this on. So I'm just going to tape these on, and this will be my base layer, and I will be back. Okay, so I've stuck down some of the elements from the patterned paper, and now I'm actually using the sticker sheet to add some other elements. Now, both the sticker sheet and the chipboard sheet only had 2 little presents. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 2 stickers and then pop up the, she says, pop up the chipboard with a little bit of foam tape so it goes on. So it becomes another 3D element. Now I'll use one of these foam tabs. I need a little bit. This one. And that'll pop up. Okay, so I've got the 3 little sets of presents there. And that also then ties in my 3 ginghams across the way. Now there's all these words, and I want to use some of these, I believe, probably either side of the actual picture itself, and basically just in the edges. So again, I'm going to start with them up on this side, because what I want to do is I want to draw the attention. Now you'll notice I didn't want any of those to be matching, but rather 3 different lengths, but they're all leading you across the photo. So the next 3 I want to put on this side. So I've got green, red, green, red. I might do, here comes Santa. So just on that side, jingle. And I wanted this jingle on this side because obviously the arrow points to it. And then believe in the magic. And again, none of these 3 are the same length, so they don't match. Okay, so I've got that line, which will lead you through the photo, and this line, which will lead you through the photo. And then around the page will be this, this, and this. So I do need a little bit of something there, but I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that. And I do need a title. The title is sort of separate again. So I'm thinking, because I've got one of the chipboard elements, I need something else that is chipboard. So I don't know whether to put a big one or to put a little one. Or to put a big one and maybe put, it's probably too big for there. Spread a little cheer, because there's also these lights which could, oh, I like that. I can just get it so that it sits. Thank you. Tell your mother. I'll have that just there. And I will put that one there maybe. And then it's still a matter of, do I do this one or do I do this one? I like the fact that those 3 are the colours of those, so it ties in better. I wish it was a bit bigger. Don't know that there's... 2. No. That jingle delivery service either. It's not the right colour. Although I don't mind that. It's really just a matter of playing with it. And sometimes it can take a long time. So leave me with it for a minute and I'll be back. Okay, so I think I'm happy. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put a sticker there. I'm going to put I don't think I want any more than just double-sided tape on these, but what I've done is I've chosen a number of different elements. So I'll have 5 raised elements. All in the same colours. And so that's like a second layer. A little bit of that red to show. So that one's there. This one's the biggest one. So this will be my title. And this will cover the edge of that because I don't want that showing. So there's my title. And I am going to put this one just to break up that, because the chipboard elements have a gloss to them. So I want them to be, I want there to be enough of them so that it doesn't look odd. So again, I've got that little bit there. So that'll cover that. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chipboard elements. I've got a couple of sticker elements. And then I've got the paper cut elements. So because I've got enough of each, it balances out okay. I'm just going to trim this. And that one. So it looks like it goes straight through. Now I think the only other thing I'll do is just add a few more dimensional dots. I've got the little red dots here with the paint, but I think I'll add a few extras using some Nuvo drops. So if you've never used Nuvo drops, crystal drops before, they add dimension, and I suppose they look a little bit like pearls. If I just put a little bit on here, it comes out like a bit like a glue, but you can basically make dots with it like that, and they're wet for a little while, but then they dry. Okay, and they dry like little dots. So you always want to make sure that it's the last thing you do, and then you need to let it set for a wee while before you touch it again. So I'm just going to put a few around. Some bigger, some smaller. Again, try and do it in little clusters, maybe 2 or 3. And again, I want to do it on each layer. Do one over there. And 3 there. I'll do another one down here. Now you can see initially they have peaks on them, but as they dry, they usually flatten out. Now if you're not sure if yours are going to do that, you can give them a helping hand by tapping. While they're still wet, you can tap away with them, and that will help them to flatten or to round out at least. Okay, and that's it for this page. Makes it nice and simple. I am going to let this dry, and then I'll take a few photos so that you can see the finished product up close. I do hope you enjoyed this today. Quick and simple. I think it's really important to capture special memories. The years go by so fast, and you know, children change, we all get older, so it's just nice to capture those memories. It's a really good way to remind ourselves how lucky we are. So whatever you did for your Christmas, I do hope that you'll be able to find a photo or a treasure from your holiday experiences and put it together as a memory to keep and cherish forever. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video. I love it if you'd share it for other people so that they can subscribe to this channel and join us in our arty adventures. And for now, I'll say see you later from down under. Bye.